Elected officials seem to be putting out fires at every turn, and the nation is watching Colorado's U.S. Senate race.
Political specialist Sean Boyd is talking about these issues and much more in this week's Reality Check.
Homeless camps and protest rallies continue to dominate the news. This week, Denver's Mayor Michael Hancock ordered the cleanup of the camp in Civic Center Park. The mayor told me anarchists had been blocking city workers from helping those who are homeless. This time they went in unannounced, and still there was violence. And in Aurora, a man opened fire after a Jeep drove through a rally protesting the death of Elijah McClain. Chaos ensued and the Judicial Building was set on fire. Aurora's mayor, Mike Kaufman, initially called it domestic terrorism, then walked that back. Our analysts, Democrat Mike Dino, Republican Dick Wadhams here. You know, it seems like it doesn't matter what it is. It becomes violent, you know, and is it a small group of people, a large group of people? What is their point? Mike?
Well, I do think that there is a small group of people that wants to be anti-government no matter what, anti-police, anti-politician, anti-system. Whatever the issue is, they'll latch onto it. Certainly the homelessness issue is right there in the forefront, and certainly the Black Lives Matter is too. And so it gives them a great forum to be out in the public and create dissension, create violence, and in some ways to get away with it. So when they get away with it, it seems to fortify them. And it really puts a lot of pressure on the authorities, because I do feel that our elected officials and our police and safety officials want to take a measured response. But at some point there is confrontation, and we saw that this week.
So, Dick, I struggle to understand, is homelessness their cause here? Is it police accountability? Do they have a cause?
No. They have nothing but an agenda to destroy public and private property and to attack the system. I laud Mayor Hancock for finally addressing that homeless camp across from the Capitol. I laud Governor Polis for finally apparently trying to do something about the Colorado Capitol. But, Sean, they waited way too long. They have emboldened this crowd and they are domestic terrorists. I do not think that Mayor Kaufman should have backed away from that comment. And there's only one way to deal with these people, and that is with force. I have nothing but the highest respect for anybody who wants to peacefully protest. That's an important part of our system. But these people have no agenda other than to destroy.
Well, the election is fast approaching, just 3 months away. And a new poll shows Colorado's Senate race between Republican incumbent Cory Gardner and Democrat John Hickenlooper is tightening. Our Senate race is historically close, meaning a sliver of voters in the middle will decide this. Gardner is appealing to these voters right now, it seems, on the environment, Hickenlooper on health care reform. Dick, are these effective strategies?
They are. I mean, Senator Gardner is employing the same strategy that a lot of Republicans have used to win statewide office in Colorado over the past several decades. The voters in the middle, Sean, really do want their elected officials to maintain our environment here in Colorado. And Cory's done so much on that front. So and he's got a great story to tell about what he's done as a U.S. Senator. So I think that's one of the reasons he's closing the gap with Hickenlooper. The other reason is because I do think that Hickenlooper is still suffering from those ethics violations.
It is, but they also this week were highlighted for focusing on the economy, which really I think is going to be the overriding issue. Certainly Senator Gardner has to deal with the president and what he brings to it, and I think his issues of focusing on environmental issues helps him with suburban voters to some extent. Because he's really got to convince them, because the president certainly isn't, that Republicans should stay in power. But the economy will override everything, and I think that's what's going to be on voters' minds, particularly today when we see the extra $600 a week in unemployment expiring.
All right, we're out of time for this week. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.